Preparing to live stream. Oh, and I guess I should record this one too. Record. Zoom recording. Last time we actually had somebody jump on. Stream. Let me turn this volume off so I don't hear myself. Okay. Last time I actually had somebody jump on to the live as well on YouTube. So that was fun. So I'll keep doing that. Alrighty. So get this down here. Get it in presentation mode. Alrighty. So welcome, ladies, and anybody else joining us. I am excited about tonight's topic because I think this is where we can really grow as well. It's something that I had struggled with at the beginning, and I felt like I had a lot of questions as to how to do it right, how to do it naturally, how to be organic and authentic about it. And this is my weakest point, but turns out it seems to be my strength here. So because I've always worked in leadership, it's always come natural to me to want to empower people to do better for themselves as well. I always empower my staff members to go back to school, to get a higher education or pursue their graduate degrees and everything. So this is something that's like near and dear to me. And I didn't realize how well my leadership qualities would translate into Scentsy. And, you guys feel free to call me out and roast me if you want to, but I feel like I'm doing pretty well and I'm always open to feedback as well. Okay, so why should I sponsor? Courtney actually posted this morning in the group page, and I felt like it was the perfect capture and explanation from our founder, Orville. So the picture to the right is Heidi and Orville Thompson. They are the founders of Scentsy and started the company almost 2 decades at this point. I think it's 15 plus years ago. And he said it very, very well. Somebody captured it in the Hawaii leadership that they went to in 2020. And what he said basically is the objective of sponsoring is really great during, I think that's misspelled, the incentive period as well. But it really helps you to control and grow your income. So I'm just kind of paraphrasing what it says in there, but you guys can come back and read this later on if you want to. It says basically in our business, we have the opportunity to determine our wealth and income, right? So that's based on our PRVs and our sales. But building your teams actually offer greater control over the residual income. So over time, as you grow your team and as you advance in ranking, it really helps for what your teamies are also doing feed into you as well. The benefit behind this is that, the benefit behind Scentsy and why I love Scentsy as opposed to other direct sales company is basically because they don't breed lazy leaders. You have to be a performing leader. If you're not a performing leader, you won't hit your numbers. So I can't recruit and do absolutely nothing and expect to be paid commission off of what everybody else is doing. That's not how Scentsy works. Scentsy makes everybody bust their behinds to actually get to where they need to be. So in order to have leadership number, it's 500 PRV, but that it doesn't stop there. That's just to hit lead consultant leadership numbers. If you want the maximum potential of whatever your rank is, you have to hit the maximum potential of whatever your numbers need to be as a group and as an individual leader. So not just the group alone, the leaders have to also perform, which is why I love it. And if you guys look at Courtney, she is the epitome of a leader who leads by example, right? She is bringing in like 5,000 to 10,000 PRV a month. And that's just insane. But that girl can sell the heck out of Scentsy. And she's not the only one. Once you guys become lead consultants, I can add you to Chloe Cox's group under our SSD. And what happens under Chloe is that you are going to meet all the other SSD and like really get an inside glimpse of what their minds think like and the training that they provide and everything. It's incredible. It took my Scentsy to the next level when I was able to actually like see how these women think and how they run their businesses. Everybody runs it a different way, whatever works for them. And everybody's customers are different too. So Courtney's customer might love mystery bags, but mine, I came to realize that no matter how much I tried, I kept getting defeated because I would sell one, I would sell two, but I won't sell like 40 or whatever it is she's selling. And there's other consultants out there selling 60 and 70 each month, and it's absolutely insane. So I realized my people just don't like surprises, and I have to announce what's inside it, and then that way, so it's kind of tweaking it to how it works best for your customer base too. But basically, it's just saying that, your PRV compensation is covered. And so what you make commission off of that is pretty straightforward. Whatever you make in PRV is what you make. But over time, as you grow as a leader, everything else starts to snowball and make it help you really control that income even more. So if you look at our SSD, she used to be a registered nurse and was able to retire from her income as a registered nurse after 4 years of selling Scentsy. And so, and now she's 9 years in and she's making a killing, and she's been very transparent on the leadership page with us about how much she brings in each month, and I think I've told most of you guys personally how much she's bringing in each month that she's already told us. So I don't want to put it out there because this is going on YouTube and is live right now, but there is potential for making incredible amounts of money if you put the work in and if you grow your team wide. So it's not just you growing personally. You can knock out all the PRVs you want, but it's growing your team wide that's really going to make a difference. Sponsoring was very, very uncomfortable for me when I first started. The whole stigma behind a pyramid scheme or an MLM. But again, once I started realizing that Scentsy does not breed lazy leaders, I realized, people can say what they want to say, and I just need to not give a anything, and just do my thing. And when I started doing that and I started posting things to YouTube and everything, that's when it really started snowballing and growing. Okay, so who can I sponsor? So, obviously this is the group of people you can sponsor, and I'm just going to kind of break it down to how it worked out for me, and everybody might be different. So family is the first group that I targeted, right? I reached out to my cousins, I reached out to my in-law cousins, and they were the first ones that I had sponsored on my team. And they're also the first ones that kind of fell off over time because they weren't really doing it for the income or for the passion. They were doing it for me. So they're great, but they're not always the best long term. Not saying that they're not doing fantastic. Just saying that they're not the best long term. Friends, I have had friends look at me and say, Jasmine, I can't do what you do. I don't know how you find the time to do that. I can't package it all cute and deliver it to people one by one the same way that you do. And so this is where it comes back to us trying to make it fun and not so much like another chore. And so for them, they kind of saw it as a chore. And so my friends I've had conversations with about 5 ladies for an entire year, and 3 of them are actually reinstatements, which they can reinstate for free and they still don't want to do it. And so that's been so hard for me to try and get them over that hump of whatever it is that gave you that bitter taste the first time you were a Scentsy consultant, let me change that. And so, planting those seeds, I feel like friends and family are going to eventually see how successful I am. Even our SSD, who's been doing it for 9 years, making the income that she does, somebody will just appear 5 years down the road because something changed in their life and they realize maybe I should have joined Scentsy and started my business all along. So you never know when things are going to change. Social media, Lizzie, you're a great one. Brianne, you're just starting your social media, but there's so many different social media platforms. Just getting the word out there constantly that you're looking for new teamies and that you're looking to help somebody start their Scentsy adventure. You're looking to help support them. Continue putting it out there, because not everybody's going to see every story, every post, everything. So the more frequency you have, the better. I like to do the, here's a $99 kit post. And then I do but right now I have one that's eligible for a starter kit that's $59. And then I go, but I also, if you're interested, get on my waiting list for the 0 out-of-pocket kit. And so Brianne is a example of that. She was one of my recent ones who was able to join under that. And I was fortunate to have that available. And so it just was a perfect marriage that she reached out and I was like, oh, I have something right now and I'm getting ready to close the party with the new catalog. So it was perfect. Customers. Basically, your customers are going to be your best recruit. If you guys know who Julie is in House of Scents, Julie was one of Courtney's best customers. And she ended up recruiting her. And as much as it pained Courtney to recruit her best customer and lose out on the sales, she gained a very good team member. So don't be selfish and don't hesitate to try and recruit your best customers too. I've been trying, and I think a lot of the customers that I have here locally have this mentality that, they're they would rather just pay for the fundraiser instead of making their kid do the fundraiser type people, you know, like they're like, let me just pay the money, whatever it is, get it out. And then instead of me having to make my kid do this fundraiser. So that's the type of personalities that they have, some of them. And so it's been incredibly difficult for me. But then customers, friends, and family. So if the customer themselves are not ready to start their Scentsy adventure and all they want to do is buy off of you instead of at least discounting off of themselves, getting the discount, let them know, hey, you know, Lizzie, by the way, I am getting ready to close out another party and I do have a, you know, 0 out-of-pocket cost kit for somebody. You know, if you don't want it, do you have a friend or family member that you think would benefit from this? You know, so having those little conversations, planting those seeds, you might be planting it for their friends or family, but maybe one day they'll turn around and do it with you. So any questions so far? Any like examples, you ladies? I know, Brianne, you're a little new. So Lizzie, do you have any examples that you wanted to touch on?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So do's and don'ts. So let's go down the right side with the don'ts first, because I made some serious mistakes and had to walk away embarrassed when I first started, right? So this is what I did when I first started. I thought the best thing to do was hurry up and grow this team, as well as sales. So I knew sales was important and I knew team was going to eventually be important. So this is what I did. I sent this long paragraph message one by one. So I did the right thing by private messaging people, but I sent it one by one. And it was like, hey, Jasmine, guess what? I just started my new Scentsy business. I would love it if you would support me and purchase something. But also, would you how would it feel to make $1,000 a month? I don't even know where I came up with $1,000. I said, how would it feel to make an extra $1,000 a month just by selling fragrance? And like, so in one paragraph, this long in a private message to like 50 people, I asked them to purchase and support me, and I asked them to join my team at the same time. It was terrible, and I didn't know. And so that was like that cold call messaging, that hey girl message that they say it's never do. I didn't know better. So, you know, I've never done like recruitment like this before. The most I've ever done was like recruit new staff from the hospital, you know, and so I didn't know how it works. And it was terrible. So don't be gimmicky, don't be salesy. I also made a whole bunch of flyers that says join my tribe. I don't think join my tribe is as bad, but I think join my team. Courtney says this a lot. She says it sounds very selfish, you know, like it's like you join me, you know, like you come to me. Instead of making it worded that way, how can we say, let me help you, you know, like, so make it seem more like how we're helping them change their lives and what Scentsy can do for them, as opposed to what I can do for you as, you know, your sponsor. And then of course, cold call messages, you know, my long paragraph, use that as an example. Don't do that. I think it's, I made that mistake. And then that's one of the posts that I posted a couple of weeks ago. 17 months after sending my first embarrassing paragraph, I walked away from a lot of people and never ever messaged them again, because when I go back in to think about private messaging them, that's the last message I see is my embarrassing paragraph, right? And so I ended up like avoiding certain people, but then one person actually finally came through and purchased. And I was actually quite shocked, because when I looked back at the message and she's sending me a message, hey, Jasmine, I want to buy this. Because her mom used to be a consultant and then she stopped. And so she was like, I need a new lady because my mom's not selling anymore. And then I realized I had sent her that long-winded message and it was just embarrassing. It was so embarrassing to see it later. But do continue to share Scentsy. I've said this before over and over again. Sharing Scentsy is the way to go. Selling Scentsy is never the way to go. You never want to sell the product. You want to share it. You want to share how it benefits them. You want to share how the air purifier helps to clean the air and how it helps to clean the dirt, pollens, and everything from your pet's wagging tail. You know, you want to share the savings. If you're delivering $100 worth of products to a customer, you can say, hey, Jasmine, you know, like, thank you so much for your purchase. Did you know you could have saved $20 on this purchase today? And so by putting it into that perspective and just saying, if you join Scentsy, if you start your Scentsy business, you could just be doing this for the savings alone. That's how Courtney got me. You know, like, I'm going to put it out there. She basically told me, she was like, I had already purchased at that time almost $500 worth of Scentsy products from her back to back. And she was just like, Jasmine, you are not buying any more Scentsy until you get a link. And I was like, okay, what does it take to get a link? And she goes, $99, you'll get your own link. And at the time, we didn't know anything about, reduced price or anything. She was brand new at it too. And I was like, okay, $99, I get a link. She goes, yeah, but moving forward, everything will be 20% off. And then once you hit certified, it's 25% off. And I'm hearing like, that's a discount. I'll do it. And I ended up joining just for that. And then I learned the potential of Scentsy. Share share your passion. Why are you so passionate about Scentsy? Share your why. Why are you doing Scentsy at all? Is it because you need side income? Is it because your rent price got jacked up another $400 like it happened here in Miami? Like what reasons do you have behind wanting to sell Scentsy? And so if you can help them relate to you and they're like, oh wow, Lizzie's in college and she's doing Scentsy to help make money on the side so she can still focus on school, and this is it's less time consuming, and look how much fun she's having. She learned how to use Canva, she's doing all kinds of crazy edits. And then share the milestones. So what I like to do is always like try to publicly share my milestones and my teammates' milestones. So when you guys when I have new teamies join, I always say, like I just tagged recently Brianne, it's great for them to see, oh wow, Jasmine's really serious about this, because then at the same time they're like looking at, all right, is she just in this for another 6 months and done? Because a lot of people just disappear, right? They have like a Scentsy link on their thing, but they just disappear after a while. So it helps for them to see how serious you are. And once they start realizing you're super serious, then they want to actually contribute. It was amazing how me saying, help me get on this cruise actually got me on the cruise. I thought Courtney was crazy. She was like, Jasmine, you need to tell people what your goal is. You have to tell people, I need X amount to get on this cruise. And when I did that, people actually said, Jasmine, let's get you on this cruise. And $30 here, $50 there got me on the cruise. And so I was not, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit of ego in me that like didn't want to like beg for purchases, but I wasn't begging. I don't feel like I was. I just kind of like announced it. And if anybody paid attention, they did. And those are the people who actually purchased out of nowhere, made purchases. And then of course, being authentically you. I think being authentic, being organic, being purely you is really important. Never try to be somebody you're not. It's people see through that BS and people can sense that it's just not real and not right. And so when they see that, you become a salesperson, you become that annoying car salesperson. Nobody wants to go, browse through a parking lot. We're browsing through late at night, hoping that the gates aren't open because we don't want to be encountered by a salesman, or even like if you're going to, I don't know, an appliance store and then you have or a furniture store. That's a good one. You go to a furniture store and they're like following you and they're standing in like the fake room next to you, but like nearby. It's so annoying. And so like just being authentically you and not being salesy, it's super important. Any questions, ladies? All right, so how often should I have conversations? This is key. So the less you have conversations, the less people realize, oh, she's trying to expand her team or he's trying to expand his team. You want to make sure that you are constantly letting people know, not only are you selling the products and you're loving the products, but you're also growing your team. So every time you close a party, if you're doing parties with the host, 100%, you should say, hey, Jasmine, I've got you qualified for a host starter kit. Would you be interested? If it's a $200 party that they qualified at, you can already drop that $59 down to $39 by applying your Scentsy credit towards it. If it's a $500 party, that join kit can be completely free, and then they join for free. So you always want to offer it to them. If they pass, you take that and offer it and let them know, if you don't mind, I'm going to offer it to those people who purchased from you. And so if they pass, offer it to the people who actually purchased in their team, in their party. That's how I believe Courtney does it every single time she closes a party. If that person passes on it, then she's going to offer it to somebody who just made a purchase in that same party. So if you have 5 people purchasing and got you to $200, one of those 5 people might say yes, and you never know. And if they don't say yes now, they might say yes in the future. They'll come back and say, hey, I want to throw a party and I want to consider joining. It could happen 6 months down the road. It could happen 6 years down the road, but it could happen at some point. Every time you deliver an order, again, going back to here's $100 in stuff this lady just bought, I'm going to deliver it to her and say, did you know? And a lot of the directors and above, I think a lot of people who are doing really well with PRV and sponsoring does this. They already have like a generic card that says, you know, did you know you could have made $20 off of this order? So, or, you know, save $20 off of this order, however you want to word it. They already have like a pre-template and all they do is fill in the blanks. So consider doing that also. That's something that I definitely can do more of to try and get my local people, because you guys, I only have my cousin who is local that's on my team. She's about an hour from me. And then I have Marlene who's local that's on my team. And I've not even met her yet. She has been on my team for close to a year now. She lives 10 minutes down the road and we have not made the time to connect. But she found me on YouTube, which is really ironic because I was like, oh my gosh. And she said she just happened to jump on and she saw my name pop up and remember seeing my video. So there is definitely opportunity for me to grow my local teamies as well. But I love the fact that I have you guys like far and wide because none of us share friends. And so what I post, Lizzie can post, Brienne can post, the three of us can post almost most identical thing. And not a single person would ever know that you know, took the verbiage off of somebody else. So I absolutely love that we have such long distance people that we never have that issue that we're like, because Courtney and I have a group of friends together because both of our daughters cheered together. And so we have like about 100 ladies in our friends group that we share. And so when she posts something, mine has to look completely different from hers. Otherwise, it looks like I just followed exactly what she did and copied it. So it becomes difficult. But when we, you know, the three of us, you have one in Ohio, right? Okay, one in Ohio, one in Virginia, and one in Florida. None of us have friends together. You know, we don't have family together. So it works perfectly. So a lot of times people will actually reach out. And this is another one that I get a lot, is they say, you know, well, I was thinking about joining under a local lady or my friend or my cousin or my neighbor. And, you know, and they're like, well, you know, if you're in Florida, how's that going to help me? And then my answer is always, you know what? We all share the same templates. We all do the same thing. And we don't share any single friends. So that made your life a little bit easier because you don't have to reword a whole lot of things. So, and then when somebody says, you know, I love the products, but I can't afford it. That is a person that you can actually tell them, you know, make something happen so that they can get a zero out-of-pocket kit and bless them with an opportunity to make money, because those are the ones that you really want to get. They have a lot to gain from being able to start a business like this. If it works for them, that's fantastic. So those are the ones that I think it's more of a like us helping and giving them a blessing in disguise without them realizing it at the time. And I'm all about good karma. So I want to do good for people. So as much as I can offer the kit to people in need, I will. Every time someone says, I can't do what you do, those are another one that, you know, that's a little bit more difficult, but you can say, well, you don't have to do what I do. And that's the beauty of it, is all of us as Scentsy consultants do them very differently. Some of us get really fancy with edits, and we print out labels and we do this and we do that. And other people just buy blank labels and handwrite them, you know, and those people might make more PRV than you and I. So, you know, everybody does it differently, and that's okay, because you start out with friends and family and you evolve from there. Questions? It's a whole lot for sponsoring, and you know, it's the most intimidating thing ever. And I've been very fortunate in starting this YouTube channel, and everybody has been coming to me, and you know, just they feel my energy, they hear my energy, and they enjoy it. And so I've been really fortunate in that sense. But you know, we can all do it. It's possible. Grow it wide, grow it big, and eventually we can all be like our SSD.
So how long do you think, like from when you first joined, how long do you think it took you to get a kickstart on having teamies? Like, how long would you say, like, took you to get the kickstart on doing that?
So my biggest wave of teamies out of nowhere was in May during the $20 join kit. Okay. That was my biggest wave of people coming in. But before that, I've already started having conversations with certain people And Marlene, Edward, those three, Angela, maybe four, had already started having conversations with them. Now, what I did initially was I would do like, okay, let's meet via Zoom. Let's do this, let's do that. And it became too difficult for them. And they didn't like, not them per se, but I felt like for some people, it was like, oh my gosh, you want me to meet you on Zoom? And so I tried to simplify it as much as possible. And the more I simplified it by just doing voice memos to them, so that they can hear my energy and they can hear my excitement, and really like, because I have so much to say, I don't want it to be like misinterpreted in a long text or anything. That really helped. But I would say it kickstarted, like it was about 6 months into it. But I had already posted this on YouTube in January. So that was like 4 months after I started. So really it was 2 months into my YouTube channel that it started really snowballing. That video that I made about, don't join Scentsy until you watch this started going viral. And I noticed like it jumped up to 1,000 views out of nowhere. That's when I started hearing from people, and the algorithm, if they asked a question on there, I responded right away. So I helped the algorithm boost by doing that too.
Yeah, I'm going to be planning on doing a YouTube video, like basically like explaining, like, I don't know how I'm going to do the title, but I'm going to try and do something similar to you, like saying how I think, like, because like I've seen so many TikToks about how people say it's an MLM, it's a pyramid scheme and all that. I'm going to try and like, I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I've been like trying to think about like, what's the title going to be? I want to do something similar to you, like talk about teamies and stuff like that. Absolutely. I'm really trying to get some teamies here.
Yeah. So. Yeah, no, that's awesome. And people are going to trash talk, even if you are like running a church, like I feel like people are just going to do it no matter what. And everybody has their opinion and they're entitled to it. And it's up to us to A, not get offended, and B, continue, like not get offended and continue moving forward. Like, don't let that like intimidate you and then be like, all right, people are talking trash, let me stop. And one of the reasons why I became successful in Scentsy is because I stopped giving a shit about what people had to say, basically. I was afraid. I just earned my doctorate. I'm Dr. Sandoval selling Scentsy. And somebody at work said something. Somebody at work made a comment, and I was like, this bitch. I was really heated for about a week, but that lit my fire so much to like want to show them what Scentsy could do. Like, instead of me retreating, it pushed me forward into like, okay, you want to talk trash? Okay, let's go. And it was never like, I never approached them and never anything, but like it came back to me saying something about, me selling Scentsy with the status that I have and whatever. And I was just like, okay, all right. I'll keep it professional at work, but I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. And I, tenfold. And so everything I'm doing now, and this person even had asked to join, they wanted a discounted kit at the beginning too. So yeah. So for somebody to do the trash talking that they did, I was actually in shock. And I was like, okay, you're going to ask to join with the discounted kit, but then talk trash behind my back. Like, you are not the right vibe for my team. But yeah, and it happens. And we just have to continue pushing forward and saying that it can be successful, and that, if you, Lizzie, outrank me, I get nothing off of you. So it makes me have to stay busy and active and very involved in my business and very dedicated to you guys. So I have to dedicate myself to the customers, and I dedicate myself to you guys, because it helps all of us grow together. Like, we know, but it can very easily be, I can have a really bad month and decide I'm not going to sell anything. I'm going to let everybody else do the work, but I will not get paid out for it. I won't get my own PRVs, and I won't get any percentage off of you guys, and so, and the percentage is very minimal, and, like it goes up slowly, but it's the wider the team, the better it is. But the percentage is so minimal, it's not even something that I get excited about, because it's really like so down there. But it's what I get excited about personally is you guys hitting those milestones, like being able to get to certified, get to lead, get the first recruit, have conversations, or like sell 5 mystery boxes. Those little things get me excited because I'm like, yes, like we're doing it, and then it's like, okay, whatever you're doing, tell me so I can do it too, because, and then we share ideas. So yeah, and when I was searching Scentsy and trying to understand what it was, like after I signed up under Courtney, I bumped into some lady's page that was like, is Scentsy an MLM? And this is actually where I got my idea. I watched it thinking she was going to trash talk it, but instead she didn't, and so I was like, oh, so maybe that's something you can start with, like very similar to mine. Don't join Scentsy until you watch this. You can do, is Scentsy an MLM? And then do like, a frowny face or something in there to make it kind of look like you're like about it. But then once they start watching, it's like, wow, and so you're actually explaining how it's not. Well, I mean, it is an MLM, but it's not a pyramid scheme, right? So, it is direct sales and there is an order in things, how things work, but it's definitely not a pyramid scheme. Now, with that said, I've had a family member join, hold on, let me admit, Lindsay. I've had a family member join Scentsy thinking it was similar to a direct sales that they came from with another one. And then she goes, wait, what do you mean? I like, cause she had recruited 3 people. And she's like, what do you mean I don't just get paid off of them? I was like, no, girl, you need to do the work. Like she came from another direct sales company thinking that, okay, if she could start recruiting massively, everybody else would just work. And then she just sits back and reap the benefits. And she came from another direct sales company. I was like, no. She goes, but that's how this company works. I was like, no. That's not part of our compensation plan. Read that compensation plan. It states, if you're lead or above, you need to at least have 500 PRV. And then your team needs to hit this amount of money. So you're not going to sit back and just enjoy the benefits of everything else. So it was a rude awakening for this family member, and but a pleasant one, because then she realized how much work it involved, and she actually started putting in some work. So that was really nice. Hey, Lindsay. So we just wrapped up the sponsoring part. So feel free to go back and watch it on the replay, but do you have any specific questions right now? You actually just recently sponsored your first teamie. So how are things going? What are some lessons you've learned so far? And just kind of share it with the group.
So things are going good with her. I've noticed she's real motivated. Even if I don't really like kind of micromanage her, she's still going and getting things in. Occasionally I do have to like go in and just kind of give her a little pick me up, just so that she knows that she's not, in it alone, and like I'm going to be there for her no matter what. So I'm not constantly messaging her every single day. But I am letting her know, hey, I'm still here. You can do it. I know you can do it. And like, I messaged her at like 4:00 this morning, cause I was already up and she was already up. And, and it's like, I was like, well, I have the time, so let's message. And, she would ask me questions and I would tell her kind of like what, you do as far as, the pre-orders and, how, that little, you're in queue waiting to get in line. So that way she knows kind of like everything that you taught me, I'm trying to teach to her, as well as make sure that she doesn't lose momentum. And cause like she kind of felt a little bit down because she couldn't get to Shooting Star. I was like, it's not that big of a deal. I was like, not a lot of people do it. I was like, I was just, I was blessed to have the ability to get the Shooting Star. I was like, but what we really need to work on is just you hitting that certified. And she's not that far away, as long as she's like constantly, like she'll even come and, she's taken over her VIP page, and, she, learned a lesson, and she was like, now I'm searching for Scentsy friendly content so that way she doesn't get in trouble again. So it's like, yeah, so it's definitely a learning curve for both of us, because, I still have to work my business and make sure I get everything out on my end, but also make sure she doesn't lose, motivation, and just keep on keeping up, at least set aside certain times, as well as, setting aside my kids and my schoolwork and all that stuff. I think the managing part of it all is a little bit harder just because I haven't found like, okay, from this time to this time, I'll do Scentsy. This time to this time, I'll, help her. So yeah, Scentsy. Scentsy.
The best assistant ever.
Yeah. So now if he sees me online, he'll say Scentsy, Scentsy.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. So yes, that is incredible. And what I like to do is I just start creating mini milestones, right? All right, let's get to active 200. Just focus on the 200 right now and focus and give them a timeline. Let's focus on the 200. Can you do it by the 5th? If not, let's maybe the 7th or the 8th. The goal is always to get it by the 5th. Sometimes I just don't. Sometimes I have a party to close out and I'm not going to be eager to close out the party and then get hit with shipping to get it by the 5th. And so I just, try to get it in by the 7th or the 8th, or whenever I can when the party is ready to be closed, because I'm going for that free shipping because stuff's expensive to ship. So, and that's why I preach Visly, and if you don't use Visly, at least use the VIP mock group. And I think what I'm going to try to do is maybe go back and hashtag all of my VIP mock group stuff so that it's easier to find. It's all consolidated together for the launch party information. And then that way you can always just go and rip it and then, post it over. I've seen different consultants do different things. Some of them keep it all in their notes, but I feel like it's like 150 posts for a launch party, for like a 7-day, 14-day launch party. There's a lot of posts, so I don't think that's feasible. That's why I put it into Visly. It's one and done. It takes commitment to do it at first, but then it's like actually in there. I just did a Visly one for the new catalog stuff too, but it's going into VIP mock page. So just steal from VIP mock page, tweak the words to make it yours, and then use it. And Brianne, this is incredibly important to you too. The VIP mock page, everything you see on there, feel free to take the picture, take that verbiage, change that verbiage so it sounds like you, and then use it. That's what it's there for. And none of us, 4 people on this page right now on this live, and not a single one of us have friends or families that are connected. So they will never ever see what Lindsay posted, or Brianne posted, and say, oh my gosh, she just stole that from Jasmine. So do it. We all share, we friends each other, but we don't, we don't actually have customers that are shared. So
yeah. My question on the Visly, because I heard that it's a subscription for Visly, like a monthly thing whenever you're doing parties. Is that right? Because I've tried to use it once, which I kind of found it like it was from another direct sales thing. But then they said you could only get a certain amount of parties, and then you have to pay for it.
Okay, so it says, I just pulled it up. Oh, where did it go? It said you get 2 free weeks and then free tier. If you don't, you can stay on our free plan and still run a limited number of parties per month. There's no penalty to switching back and forth between subscription and free tier. What I remember reading when I first did the subscription was you can have one group page going at a time for free, is what I recall. Your 2 weeks of full trial for a full paid subscription, full access to all features, I believe you can have one group. So for your own personal VIP page, if that's all you're doing right now, then yes, it is free. I believe. So double check that, but it's not, you can still use it quite, it could be very handy. But what it might be is if you're going to have things automated to your group, Lindsay, you cannot have things automated to your teamies group. Whereas I have like VIP mock page automated. I have my own VIP, and then I had yours for a while, Lindsay, and Brianne, I'm getting ready to add yours tonight. So I do have multiple ones, but that's because, when you get to this point, you start to, there are certain things that is worth spending the money on. And that to me was worth it because I might take 5 or 6 hours to do like 40 posts onto Visly, and I'm prepping them all. I'm saying, okay, this needs to post on day 1 at 11:11, and then this post on day 2 at 12:12, and then I have them all pre-done, and then I hit submit, and then I sit back and watch the magic happen. And it's completely on autopilot. And that's if I make my own templates. If I'm borrowing a template from somebody else, because there's a Scentsy sister and mister group on there, if I'm borrowing a template from somebody else, it's completely free. And it doesn't cost me any time. All I have to do is go through and edit, which is why lately there's been some that says like, this will look great in Jacob's room. And I'm like, I don't have a Jacob. And so you'll see those. But yeah, it works, you know? And so I just have to be more cautious if it's going into my VIP to like, if there's a name in there, I need to read it. And I wasn't reading it. So it's funny that like I catch it afterwards and I'm like, oh, I don't, you know, that's not my husband's name. So, but Visly is fantastic. And there is a community of people who are willing to just share their templates, and they, you know, it's give some, take some, right? So if you're going to take something, you want to give back too. So if you're going to borrow everybody else's edits all the time, they always ask like every now and then share yours too. And so, and that's what I love about the Scentsy community, is that they're so willing to give and take, and not like hoarding it all for themselves. And it's like, no, it's all for me and I'm going to make all the sales, because we all have different friends and there's like a gazillion people we can sell Scentsy to.
So is Visly like Canva?
So Visly is, not like Canva. Visly is, I take this picture that you see right now with the dog, I put it onto Visly, and then I give it, it's like scheduling a post on your VIP group.
Okay.
So, you know, you can take a picture, you can take a meme, and you can say, okay, I want this to post tomorrow at 8 a.m. before people like start going to work. And then you time it, and then it posts tomorrow at 8 a.m. It's the exact same thing, except Visly is like an entire template. So instead of you doing it directly onto your page and then it's one and done, Visly allows you to do it and then utilize that exact same template for the next person and then for the next person. So it's a duplicatable process, and the duplication of what you do is what's going to make you super successful as a sponsor. When you guys all started joining and I realized that I was writing individual emails per person who was joining, that became overwhelming for me. So I created a template, but I would go back and very specialize, like tweak the template so that it matches each person. And then I have that PDF that everybody gets, like you click join, and then it has all the information on there. And then on the backside, I changed your shooting star date, your 70th day date, and then something else on there. So I change all of those, but it's duplicatable because now all I have to do is just tweak a few things and then hit send. And then you guys are given all the same starting information. So that's why I like Visly, because it's duplicatable. And, you know, when you start building your team, you want to do what's easiest and quickest so that you can get them up and running, because that 15-day goes by so fast. All right. Okay. So we can always come back if you guys think of questions between now and the end of the slide, the end of the training. But okay, the next one, oh, that's not going backwards. So the next one I wanted to discuss really quick was limited time offers, because we are getting ready to go back into the season of all the great new things, right? So when to share, make sure that you aren't sharing too soon, because, and this goes to things that are launching next month, things that are new catalogs that are launching. Anytime something is getting ready to launch in the future, you never want to share too soon, because people will hold back from making the purchase and you might ruin your own month sale. Like people were sharing the spring and summer catalog way too soon. And then their January kind of flopped because people were like, well, I don't want to buy this warmer anymore if I want to buy that warmer from the spring and summer catalog. So wait and give it like a good window. Scentsy used to share when things were dropping like 2-3 weeks ahead of time. And then they realized that that was like really holding back on, people were holding back on orders for that because consultants were sharing it too soon. So they started closing that window. So like today we learned about Baymax on a Thursday that is releasing on a Monday. So they have helped to guide us a little bit more just by releasing it later. We can't plan for it, but if you guys watch the end of month live with Dan Orchid and what's her name? Oh my gosh. I want to say Lizzie, but I don't think that's her name. Okay, I can't remember her name now. But she's really fun. Like the two of them together are really fun. But the end of month lives, I love watching it because I want to see what's happening next month. And then he always gives us a couple of sneak peeks too. Pre-orders, per compliance, don't collect the money until you're 5 days out. So make sure you stay within that 5-day window before you start collecting money. I personally always collect money. The one time I didn't collect money from a lady I didn't personally know, she joined my VIP group through another friend. She burned me. She asked, it was from the fall catalog. She wanted to purchase 2 of the fall cleaning bundles. So I purchased 2 of those bundles. It was $50 and she like ghosted me after that, you know, because she was like, I can't pay now, but I'll be able to pay on Friday. And I was like, okay, well, let me grab it before it sells out, because I was afraid of it selling out and then I would just lose out on the sales altogether. And then she ended up ghosting me after that because she couldn't afford to. I mean, she didn't have to ghost me. She could have just said, I can't afford to, I'm sorry, but she ghosted me. And if you're gonna do pre-orders, because these items and because Scentsy is such a hot item and people like, Monsters Inc. sold out in 30 minutes, you know? So like these things will sell out and sometimes we're just not lucky. And so I always give the disclaimer, all right, I'm collecting your money now. I'm gonna stand in line for you, but there's a possibility that this might sell out and I might not get it. And if that happens, I'm going to do my best to find somebody else who might have grabbed an extra. If not, I'm returning the money to you. But you're more than welcome to also just tell them you can jump in the queue line. I never do that. I always do it for my people because I'm already on there anyways, ordering whatever. Most of my people who order the limited time offer stuff are usually non-locals. However, if I can get my sales clumped together and timed perfectly so that I have at least $500, I will have them all shipped to me. And then I charge them for shipping and then I start shipping them out once they get to me. The one time I tried to like, I have 5 people wanting to get whatever it was. I think it was the Jack Skellington warmer. I had 5 people wanting the Jack Skellington warmer. And that was like my first limited time offer one. And I was like, what do I do? Like, do I ship it out to all of them separately? Because then I don't have to worry about boxing them up and shipping them. And then I tried doing that and I felt like I almost missed it. You know, like it almost sold out while I was trying to divvy up everybody's address and everything. If you guys have huge pre-orders, I do have a training video on how to start it so that you can close the party at the same time. So you want to make like a fake purchase. If you know that you're going to have $400 in pre-orders and that will help you close out your $500 party, then you want to go and do what I do, fake account, and then I put $400 worth of like diffusers or something like high dollar value in there. And then I just leave it to sit there. And then I start selecting all of my host credit freebies. So my host Scentsy credits and my half offs, I start selecting all of those. I pre-populate them into the party so that when at 3 a.m. I'm sitting here rubbing my eyes trying to buy Baymax, I can add $400 worth of Baymax in there, delete fake account, and then everything else is done. And then I hit go and go. Does that make sense? It's really intense. It's a very intense process.
So would you be able to do that? Because as of right now, with the whole Harry Potter release, I'm getting a lot more people. I have about roughly 5 people wanting to do the pre-order. And I tell them recently that, you know, hey, it's coming out. I'm letting you know because number 1, you're in my VIP page, and number 2, so you have time to save money. And I give them a rough estimate of 150 just because I tell them, I said, I don't know the price yet, but I'm going based off of the Disney villain warmer that I had bought and the little pack that it came with, including tax and shipping. I'm just going to say roughly around 150. It could be less. And so they're like, okay, great. I'll start saving. And so I put them on a list. Nice. And then once I know the date, I tell them, okay, once I know the date, I'll let you know so I can start collecting the money. But I've never done a pre-order before. So I thought we just go through the website. I didn't know we were supposed to go through the workstation.
So for actual pre-orders, because I think we're using the terms interchangeably here, what I mean by this pre-orders collected no more than 5 days out, that's me actually collecting money for something that's dropping on Monday. That's what I mean by pre-orders. What you're saying for Harry Potter, it was pre-ordered actually last year. And basically they said, okay, we're going to do pre-orders for Harry Potter. You're going to put a $10 deposit down, and then we're going to release it sometime in February, but we're not sure yet. And so everybody, went through PWS to put in a pre-order. And so even I have to do, like even us as consultants have to do that. So I go in through my PWS and I did pre-orders for Harry Potter based on what anybody had mentioned already. And all I collected was $10 from them, because that's what the pre-order was at the time, with an estimated release of February. I actually had one lady wanted it for Christmas, but I told her, I was like, it's not ready for Christmas, and so she was like, she goes, okay, I'll do a pre-order now, but can you make something that says, congratulations, like this, like make like a template of what it is. And so I made her a really cute template so that she could post, like put it in a card or a box or something. And her son opened it up and saw that he was going to get the Harry Potter warmer and the wax collection set. So that's, and so we can do that too, but we can discuss that as well. But that's the pre-order. That's through your PWS. That's correct. What I had actually mentioned was pre-orders, as in Baymax is dropping on Monday. And so I'm just collecting money now. That's, we should probably rephrase that so it's not so confusing, because Scentsy uses the word pre-orders for real pre-orders. And then I'm using the word pre-orders for collecting money for something that's dropping next week. Okay.
Is there a date on the Harry Potter collection? I don't know. I don't think there is yet. Is there?
Yes, a date just dropped. Courtney just posted something earlier too. I think,
but I thought that was just pre-orders for the people who actually pre-ordered, not for the ones who, because like for me, I'm not able to get Harry Potter because I didn't pre-order, because I didn't know until just recently.
Correct.
So we're just waiting on the day that it's able to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So what's going to happen is next week on Monday, those people who have already done that $10 deposit last year will be able to pay off their Harry Potter warmer, and it'll be shipped. The collection date for people to redeem, the redemption date was between 2/7 to I think it was April 30th. There was like a big window for them to redeem it by. What happens after the redemption is Scentsy will open it up to everybody to purchase. And those people who lost their deposit because they didn't redeem it on time, like I lost Sebastian because I forgot to redeem him by Christmas. I had Sebastian in the car. I'm really upset about that. And I don't know, I'm bitter, but that was my fault. I did not keep track of it. It wasn't on my calendar. And I just Christmas was so crazy. I just did not do it. I missed it. And so when redemption window closes, anything that got left over gets added to whatever remaining inventory they have. And then it gets a release date, a special release date for that. And then you'll be able to do pre-order collecting money for that. So I'm guessing in May sometime for sure. Yeah. All right. Where to share? So share everywhere except for licensed pages and groups. We are allowed, as long as they are licensed items, we can share on our personal page. We can share on Marketplace, but to be compliant, you must have a direct order link for people to directly order from your link. Be careful, because there's a lot of scouts, I'm calling them scouts, but Scentsy consultant scouts on those pages. If you post it to Marketplace and somebody goes, ask you a question, there might be somebody watching it, and then they're going to swoop in and get your customer. So you have to be very on top of it. I've heard of people doing that, which is why a lot of people try to avoid it, but I've seen some people be very successful. Browse Marketplace and you'll see how the people who are doing it right, where they'll have a limited time something, and then they'll have their actual link to say order here now. You'll see there's 40 comments under there of people interested to buy. So I don't know what boosts that algorithm. I'm still learning that part. So if you guys figure it out, let me know. But Facebook Marketplace is a place too. So you can post it anywhere as long as you have a direct link to purchase, where they cannot buy directly from your site. So eBay's not allowed, Mercari's not allowed, those, Amazon, obviously. I know there's people out there breaking the rules, but we are going to be compliant or they're going to rip this business from us, right? Make sure that you're just staying within compliance. You cannot go onto a Disney fan page and share. You cannot do a Harry Potter fan page and share. I followed them, and I tried to I followed a Harry Potter fan page to see if there's any way I can do a private message workaround, which would be totally compliant. but it's hard because everybody on there is just, I don't know. I would be messaging the entire like 500,000 people because everybody just loves Harry Potter stuff. So I don't know what's the smartest way to do that. But you just can't share publicly onto those pages because it's like a licensing, like whatever. You're not allowed to do that. NFL stuff, you cannot go onto a football page and share, but you can tag them. Like I tagged NFL yesterday for the Washington football warmers. So you can do that stuff. So just be very careful, like with compliance.
So would you be able to share on one of the pages your personal, like you're excited that you have this warmer and you don't put anything about your business or anything like that. You just post to like the Disney fan page and say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I got this. And then just have people come to you because technically you're not selling because you don't have a direct link, but you're still posting your personal picture, and then that will pique the interest of other people to come to you and be like, oh, where'd you get it from? That's amazing, type of
That's
thing.
a great idea.
Yeah, I think you totally just like took my share and not sell to a whole new level. Like, wow, I love that. Yeah.
My grandma, we go to Disney World every year, and she's in, I don't know how many groups for Disney World people, and she asked me if she could share my link, and I'm like, no, don't do that or whatever. And now that you said that, Lindsay, I think that is a really good idea. Like, she can post, I live with my grandparents, she can post like, look what my granddaughter has, this Disney warmer or something like that. That is a really good idea.
Yeah, yeah. Just be like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy my granddaughter just bought me this. And then, of course, people are going to be like, wait, where'd you get that? And then
yes,
she can share the link then, you know, like,
yeah.
Because I'm real big on the Disney fan pages and the book fan pages, and all that. So, and I've been watching some of the Refine Reimagine Facebook group that I got added. So I've been looking at all those trainings and kind of coming up with my thing, and you know, kind of start thinking sharing. And so and like even with this whole boost your peer, let's sell the one thing that we have, like let's try not to sell page where we have like a 28-day task every single day, where you just have to post on your page and not put any links or anything and have people come to you. That's what kind of triggered where, oh, well, maybe I can do this with the other groups and just say, hey, look what I got. This is adorable. And just have people come to me because I'm not selling, I'm sharing in my pictures.
Oh my God, you're brilliant. I love it. No, that's perfect.
Like if you did that idea of her and like you didn't do your link at first and then you end up putting your link in the comments, that's fine, right? Like that's fine.
I wouldn't think so. I would just probably say, oh, I got it from, I bought it from, because if you put the link, it will automatically be not compliant, right? Because we're posting the link in the comments. So it's like we're selling at that point.
Yeah.
So
like someone asked you where
like,
you got that.
Just
and
say,
then you can comment the link.
You can say DM me for, the specifics. So that way it's in a private message and it's not out there. So that way people are coming to your inbox instead of just posting the link.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea. I think it needs to say something to the effect of, is it okay if I private message you the link? Like, or I'd be more than happy to PM you the link, and then that way it's not salesy, it's not gimmicky. You're just like offering it in a private kind of way. Or even you can say, I'd be happy to connect you with, my friend on private message and give you her link, and then that way it just seems like, oh, you just don't want to put her business out there. Literally like put her business out there, but you're offering to them like, let me just private message you. And then, the moment somebody says yes, you just landed a sale, and so instead of just work around messaging them without saying anything, it's just like, oh, I would love to, let me message you real quick. And then, I'll share the link with you. And so I don't know. I feel like in a group like that where it's a fan page, a lot of people will be more than happy to connect with other people who have the same interests. So yeah, that's I can't wait to hear about your success about that. That is like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. But the downfall of it is you have to do it after the fact, right? Because now you have to actually have something like ideally you would have something in your hand, take a picture, something that you can share that's you're physically holding, or like your presence is there somehow, it's not just a marketing picture, because then that's using marketing photos that we're not allowed to do. So you would have to like be able to hold, like, I'm so happy I got this from my, granddaughter type thing in that post. And so the downfall of that is those LTOs might sell out before you even had a chance to do that. So
and I saw this on one of the tasks that a lady did yesterday with the blue agate stone or whatever. She doesn't have it personally because she doesn't have the wax and warmer of the month. So she did kind of like the Photoshop and took a picture of herself holding it like this, and then putting the warmer in her hand. So where people thought that she had it, but she really didn't.
Oh, wow.
But I was more thinking into the whole like Lady and the Tramp. I bought the Lady and the Tramp and like, oh my gosh, it's my Valentine's Day present. I love it so much type of thing. And then possibly because there is a picture of the Harry Potter warmer without the background.
Yep.
And you can possibly just put it in like, just take a picture of your background of your house and probably put like Hufflepuff or whatever class you are around it. And then just make sure you kind of Photoshop it into that, where I think you can do it with like Canva and stuff like that. You can post, you can take, if you have the pro version, you can take the background off and then put it into your picture.
Yeah. So I'd be very careful in using other licensed products. So like if you're going to use Hufflepuff, then you're going to want to use the color scheme. And so if you have like those little felt balls for decoration around it, or you have some color that matches Hufflepuff like house theme, then you put the, you insert Photoshop in the actual warmer, then it'll be perfectly compliant. But if you start throwing like a whole logo and a robe, and like if you use a wand, I think you're still okay, because a wand can be very, it may or may not actually be a licensed product. But if you use like a Hufflepuff logo or anything like that, or if you use the color, you're good. Like if you have a scarf that has the, alternating colors, you're good. So, but I wouldn't use like a flat out doll or like a Harry Potter head or anything like that. Yeah. But yeah, no, see, this is why we need to have these meetings. This is perfect. Oh my gosh. That's really exciting. I cannot wait to hear like how everybody like soars after this, because that is brilliant. I love it. Awesome. Okay. So staying compliant. We touched on this quite a bit already. Social media compliance, make sure you're not using any of those group pages to flat out sell, but now we figured out how we can do it that is not selling, but sharing. Musical compliance. So I didn't know this part, and I was putting, when Sebastian was on sale, so you can use the photo, you can use the marketing photo that Scentsy gives you, right? You can use it just as is, no modifications, do not put your name on it, do not put anything else on the photo that they give you. And you cannot overlap. So you can put it on your story and then have, like your information and your link here, but you can't overlap on their actual edit. You cannot use music either, because I was using like Part of Your World. I was using Ariel music on my Sebastian stuff, and we can't do that. So make sure if you are posting anything to your story or even to your TikToks and your Reels, we cannot use music. I learned that the hard way. On top of that, there's a questionable, like the Harry Potter one, I posted the Harry Potter pictures on my TikTok, and I used the voice of the girl. I don't know if you guys know who she is, but she stands under a tunnel and just sings, and it sounds like amazing, and the acoustic is like insane. And she just kind of did the Harry Potter theme song under the tunnel, and it sounded really, really cool. But people were like questioning whether that was actually compliant or not, because it was a Harry Potter song. But I was like, but it's a cover song. It's not the real song. So that's questionable. So, I mean, just don't use music at all when it comes to those things. That's, yeah, I don't know. I have to read more into it, but I know for sure you cannot use the actual Disney or the licensing music for it. But if you're using a cover song, I think it should be okay. I mean, like if I decided I was going to sing the song myself, I think that should be fine, but we might not be compliant. So just before you do it, read up into it more. So I just started doing it without music, and I don't do reels with those anymore. I just do straight up a picture on my story or a picture on my post, and that's it. Editing compliance, again, just make sure you don't edit directly onto the licensed product edit. Don't chop it off either. If it says, you know, copyright Disney or register Disney or whatever, keep that. If it says Scentsy, keep that. Don't chop anything off. Don't modify it whatsoever. And then the queue list and the ordering process. So when should you jump on? So the queue list is always like, personally, I jump on well ahead of time. I have my workstation open and I come back to it periodically to log in way ahead of time. And for me, it's been pretty successful. I consider it like standing in line for Black Friday. If you're not there by 3 a.m., you're not getting that new Apple iPhone or whatever it is that they're selling. So I go and I just sit there and leave the workstation wide open and then periodically jump back to check, to refresh it. And then the moment that queue hits, don't refresh, don't anything, just sit and wait. When I first started, my first one was Skellington, Jack Skellington. I had my laptop, I had my husband's laptop, and I had my phone. Like I was neurotic because I had so many, and I hear about it selling out, especially because it was the second drop and the first one had sold out so fast. I didn't want it to sell out because then I have to return everybody's money, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to get them the product. So I had multiple computers open, but now I'm comfortable with just doing the one. So do what's most comfortable for you when you guys have that first big LTO drop. And then the checkout process. So this is where I did a training to show you how to do that fake cart, to add as much as you can to equate what you're actually purchasing. So if you have $300 worth of Baymax to order, have a fake cart with $300 worth of something that you can easily delete later so that you can start adding all of your Scentsy stuff onto there. Any questions? Okay. Brianne, do you have any questions? I know this is a lot. You're so fresh and new that this just seems like a whole lot of stuff, but I promise I'll walk you through all of it. Okay, upcoming reminders. All right, so we just launched the spring and summer 2022 catalog. Everybody's recuperating from Christmas. January was quite a good month for a lot of us, so that was really amazing. People are gonna start getting their taxes soon. Bank on that. You know, they're gonna get, I don't know if there's another stimmy check coming out or not, but just, you know, bank on the fact that taxes will be coming in soon. And so you're gonna start seeing like massive increases in sales. When I had a business outside of Scentsy prior, February was hands down my biggest month. I was selling like a very niche product, and my products would like quadruple in February just because of tax season, and it was incredibly busy for me. So make sure you stay very active, you stay very relevant, and people see you, because whatever it was they wanted to order that they couldn't afford last month, they might, you know, find something this month. And so, you know, stay on top of it and stay busy. I know there were some people who just didn't hit numbers like they wanted to in January, and you know, it's okay because it was a very January is a slow month. Last year, guys, I only sold 600 PRV, you know, and like that was for me, like it like was a blow to my, I don't know, it was a low blow for me because I felt like last year, like a year ago, I had done so well, like in the holidays leading up to it. And then Jeremy, my husband, January came to a complete standstill for me. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I'm not even hitting leadership numbers. And I thought I was doing something wrong. And then, but don't let that impact you. February, brand new catalog, more reasons to go crazy, and people are getting their money. Dropping next Monday, Baymax is coming out. I think he was $45. Remember, he comes with the scent pack. If people want additional scent packs, get those. If people want the wax bars, get those. Remember, if you can do the 3 scent pack or the 3 wax bar, or the 6 scent pack and the 6 wax bar. So, you know, combine, bundle, and save if you're purchasing those. I feel like sometimes the scent pack sells out quicker than the actual buddy. I don't understand the logic behind it, but I've seen that. Um, and then when I'm like, okay, let me just bulk up on scent packs because my people might want scent packs. Nobody wants it. So it's not my customers. Somebody else's customers are like really bulk, like purchasing up on the scent packs. So current LTOs that are offered, we have our Valentine's Day collection still. It smells absolutely amazing. There's wax bars, there's oils, there's all kinds of stuff. So keep pushing Valentine's Day stuff, but remember that Scentsy's headquarters always says give them 10 full business days to order. So you guys are coming down to the wire now. And if anybody makes a purchase now in this upcoming weekend, they're taking a chance of not getting their stuff in time. But remember Valentine's Day, so 10 full business days for them to actually ship, not deliver, but ship. NFL warmers and mini warmers, you guys talk those up. Super Bowl's coming up. I see Lizzie, you are going crazy with that, which is like, because that's your team. So that's amazing. I'm pushing the whole Washington football warmer because if you guys follow football at all, they were the Redskins. They were temporarily not a Washington football team because they realized they were not, being politically correct by having a team named Redskins, and now they are the Commanders. And so with that, I'm from DC originally, so I'm pushing it and hoping that my ride or die people will purchase. Crickets so far today, but there's been crickets before and I've been able to sell a lot of those already. So I feel like I've already touched a lot of people that I knew that were hardcore fans, but there's still some more out there that I haven't touched yet. So that is a collectible item. And if you guys can preach that to your NFL fans, that is 100% something personally I would buy and hold so that one day, 50 years from now, somebody's going to come along and be like, oh my gosh, I want that, and you never know what's going to happen. So I am telling my people it's a collectible item so that they can make an investment now for $45 and get it later. Because that was a temporary logo that will never, ever be seen again. So bring back my bar buddy voting closes tomorrow at midnight. If you guys are into that, I never have really gotten too into it, but I do have a couple people who buys buddies every single time. So I need to start posting more about that today and tomorrow. And then upcoming world tour details will be on the next page. Just remember that they do have like a little window of opportunity where they're going to do a live for your city. So make sure you guys don't forget about that because I almost forgot and had like plans that weekend. Director boot camp in April. If we're directors or above, we can go. I was hoping to be able to go this year, but I'm still not director yet, so it'll come eventually. But just wanted to put this in here so that you guys see that Scentsy has lots of offerings to their leaders. Once you become lead and above, the expectation is you continue to help grow your team and mentor your team. But once you become director and above, it's a totally different ballpark. I'm jealous of the information that Courtney gets. She's privy to a lot of stuff before we are because she's Lacey. That's her name. I was like, I think her name's Lizzie, but it's not Lizzie. Lacey, they're in like this director's Facebook group and Lacey posts things and like sneak peeks all the time. And so I'm just like, oh my gosh, I wish I could be in that group. But you get invited into the group once you actually make the rank. So eventually, but they have so much information and these leadership trainings is, that's where you want to be. This is where leaders are made. This is where the successful ones continue to get more successful in this business. 2022 Epcot. I'm really excited about this. I have to go. The Flower and Garden Festival. If you guys want to make like a team event out of this, we can try and figure it out. March to July. Just remember, I'm going to be in the Utah for Scentsy family reunion in June, and then I'm going on my cruise in Alaska in July. So we have to kind of plan it before that.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because my grandma, we go to Disney World every year, and I told her about that. So she's like, oh, we might have to go then. But if my college thing doesn't get canceled because of COVID, I'm supposed to go to Paris in May.
Oh.
So.
Yeah.
So if you guys start planning anything, please let me know because my grandma, she booked stuff like 6 months ahead of time, which obviously she might not have that much time. But since I told her that, she might book something if we guys all plan something. Because, we go to Disney World every year, so.
Okay.
And we love the Flower and Garden Festival, too.
Okay. So yeah, with that said, if I have at least one person interested, I'm game. Cause I mean, it's only a 3-hour drive for me. So let's, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create like an availability calendar and see what everybody says as far as what they might be able to do. And then try to pick, if they want to go, try to pick, the one that matches for everybody, hopefully.
Okay.
But that would be so much fun.
She knows a lot. She's like can be a travel agent. I don't know why she goes into it, but she told me that the end of June is the best time to go with like no crowds and all that. So
Okay. I could see that.
if you have any questions, she's basically could be a travel agent for Disney World, I swear.
Well, my husband and I joke, and we have a running joke in this family that my husband could write a book about all the best places to go use the restroom in Disney World Park.
Yep. That's how my grandma is.
I know where all the good, clean ones are that are hidden. Nobody knows where it is. It's not crowded. You can be comfortable in there. And I was like, oh my God. All right. So, this is the world tour that's going to be at your area. So make sure you just look at, put this in your calendar because I almost forgot. And open discussion. Anything else, ladies? Any dying concerns or interests that you have? I am very much 2022. My goal is to like beef up my mystery boxes that are no longer going to be mystery. I'm just announcing them and then having them come to me for prices because I feel like it's going to be really, really amazing.
They're going to get like sneak peeks for your mystery boxes because I want to do like I was pretty successful when I did those Halloween ones, but for Christmas it was not a go-to at all. The Halloween ones they sold immediately as I posted them, but then Christmas, because I thought I would do good again, but Christmas did not go too well. So my boyfriend's mom bought all of them, but yeah.
Oh. So my plan is like, let's just say my item is 1 warmer and 3 wax bars. I'm going to put 1 warmer, 3 wax bars. I'm going to put a deluxe Scentsy soak, maybe what else would I put? A couple of like deluxe size samples of waxes. And then I'm going to have whatever the theme is. Right. So let me stop. Let me stop. I don't want to announce this to the world because I don't want